I would tell myself that this isn't the end of your story, and this does not define your life. Your story is not over yet. Hello, I'm Katrina, and this is my story. So my mother left when I was 2 years old, and I have no memory of her. I feel no emotional connection to her. I have no desire to see her. Not that I have any anger or anything towards her. She's a person I have no emotional connection to, someone I don't know. I know that she is an addict though. My father, he did the best he could for as long as he could, and I know that in my heart. But on November 9th of 1997, I remember sleeping on the living room floor with my two brothers and my father, all curled up together with blankets because it was winter and we had no electricity, no heat. Not sure what time of night it was, but I remember I was awakened from my sleep by a bunch of knocking at the door. And it was the police with social services there to come and take my brothers and I from our father, who we lived with. My father was alcoholic and just not real stable, not able to keep a job. So he just fell really on some hard times where he wasn't able to properly take care of us. The three of us, we left with them with no questions asked. We didn't really know what was going on. Not a whole lot was said to us. We were taken to the hospital where we stayed overnight till they found a temporary housing for us. After about a week, they found more permanent foster homes for us. My older brother and I were placed together. I was 12 years old at the time. He was probably about 15, and my younger brother was separated into another home. We were in a foster home in the South Lansing area together for maybe a month or two, and then he was removed from the home because he had some behavioral issues and he wasn't able to stay in the home. I was lucky, I suppose. I stayed in that home for 4 years. I stayed in that home until I was 16 years old, and they loved me and they did the best that they could for me, and I have no hard feelings or anything for them. We have good relationship to this day. They did a lot for me. In that home there was another foster kid that I really connected with and we were really close to, and we're still close to this day. He was a little older than me. When I was 16 years old, he had graduated high school and he aged out of the foster care system. So he was 18 and I was 16 at the time. Also at that same year, my older brother had went to prison, and my younger brother, who was in another foster home, was adopted. He met a friend, and his friend's parents adopted him in DeWitt. So that 2002 area, 2001 was really hard for me. I was 16 and it seemed like everyone had been taken from me. My brothers, my family, everything. It was really hard. So I turned to my friends and other people that I tried to get love and affection from, and I became pregnant at 16 years old, just before I turned 17. And out of that desperation of needing to feel like I needed somebody and felt like I needed my son's father to help me, I got pregnant again at 17. So by the time I was 18, I had 2 kids. I dropped out of high school. I was working at the local grocery store. While I was pregnant with my son, I lived with a friend of mine, and we ended up getting a place together right after my son was born, and then just before my daughter was born, I got my own place. And that friend of mine, we were very close also. Her and her mother, they helped me out a lot, and I felt really close to them, really grateful for their help. But my younger brother's adoptive family started calling me and helping, and they just kind of intervened and were just kept showing up in my life. Everywhere I turned, they showed up for everything, always trying to lend a helping hand or a listening ear or asking if, they could do anything to help. They even invited me over for holiday dinners. And so over the course of a couple years of getting to know them and getting to know their family and being welcome in their home, I asked them if my children could call them Grandma and Grandpa, and they said yes. And several years later, when I turned 30, they asked me if I wanted to be adopted, and I was then adopted by them at 30 years old. And they are wonderful people. I'm really blessed, really grateful to have them in my life, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. I ended up going back to school and getting my GED. I believe my children were 1 and 2 at the time when I got my GED, and I started taking classes at Lansing Community College, and I got a certificate to be a certified nursing aide, where I worked in nursing homes helping the elderly and the residents that live there. I did that for about almost 8 years. But during that time, I also was still taking classes. My dad pulled up a list of healthcare classes or healthcare programs that the community college offered, and I looked at them and I saw diagnostic medical sonography on the list, and I thought, that sounds amazing, but that's not for me. Like, I could never do that. I would never be capable of doing that. So, but I knew I wanted to do something in healthcare, so I kept taking prerequisites and classes, ended up earning my associate's degree in applied science. I guess just one day I believed in myself enough. Maybe my parents believed in me enough, or my drive to show my kids that they could succeed, this unimaginable love that you have for someone else that you just want to provide for them and show them that they're capable. I had to show them that I was capable, and I just decided, and I applied to the program 3 years in a row, got 2 denials, and then finally in 2014 I was accepted into the diagnostic medical sonography program at the community college. And the program is intense. It's 15 months long. It's very intense. You can't really work while doing it. So I moved into a subsidized housing where my rent was based off my income in DeWitt, close to my parents, so that they could help me out, and just did the program full-time for a year. So I would go to class and clinicals Monday through Friday, and then Friday and Saturday evenings I worked night shift at the nursing home. So in 2015 I completed the program, and I became a diagnostic medical sonographer. I am now a full-time diagnostics medical sonographer, doing all kinds of ultrasounds for 6 years now. My children are now 17 and 18, and my son graduated high school last year, and my daughter is a senior in high school this year. There was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of times where I just didn't believe in myself. I didn't think that it was possible. And people look at me and they ask me all the time, how do you do it? How do you do it? And you just keep getting up every day and letting your feet hit the floor. You know what you have to do that day. You just let your feet hit the floor and get up and go, no matter how tired you are. I did get in contact with my father back in 2013. And I connected with him via Facebook, and we messaged each other for a few months, and then I went out and I saw him, and we had a small relationship, but he he was also an alcoholic, so it was hard because he hadn't changed. But I knew that just through speaking to him, I knew he had a lot of pain in his heart and a lot of sorrow, and I knew he was sorry, but he did the best he could for as long as he could, and I know that in my heart. My father did pass of brain cancer 2 years ago. My older brother is still in prison, and I don't have a lot of contact with him. My younger brother, so his family adopted me, so we are back together again. He lives close to me. I see him all the time. When I was 17 and pregnant, I just thought, like, what am I gonna do? Like, what are the statistics? I wanted to beat those statistics so bad. I guess that's what gave me motivation. I wanted to beat that, both the statistics of being a teen mother and a foster kid. Once you turn about 18, your life is yours now. So anything bad that happens is the result of you and your choices, and anything good that happens is the result of you and your choices. You can only blame the struggle for so long until you have to start taking accountability for your own life. This isn't the end of your story. Your story is not over yet.